WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Mississippi is getting federal help to battle what some call a crisis in the state.
Community health centers across the state will be splitting over $5 million in federal money. Our Jory Talley joins us in the studio now with more on how Monroe County will use its share.
One of the community health centers receiving grant money is in Smithville. The money will go towards several things, including starting and expanding treatments for opioid and substance abuse.
Sometimes people can't do it just, cold turkey.
Access Family Health Services sees that struggle with their patients every day. Executive Director Marilyn Summerford says the medical facility will use the more than $250,000 grant to battle a growing opioid crisis in the area and across the country.
The component of this grant is the medication-assisted treatment. We'll be expanding that. We are doing some MAT therapy now, but we will be expanding that to help people transition off of the opioid.
She says the money allows the center to expand current treatments and develop others.
We'll be able to reach people that are really at the end of their rope because they're, the supplies tightening, all the providers are nervous. Nobody wants to lose their license, but at the same time you have people that have legitimate pain issues.
The money will continue to help centers to direct people to the treatment they need.
We just want to help them find the appropriate medications and look for other options because it's not always a medication. In our culture, a lot of times we feel like that a pill fixes everything.
The grant will give users more options than opening a pill bottle.
Through counseling and combinations of other types of other treatment options, then we can help people to greatly improve their quality of life.
Pharmacist Michelle George believes the grant money will cut down on opioid prescriptions.
We'll see different prescriptions coming through to help them wean off of that so that they can make the changes that they're wanting to. I think there still will be prescriptions because there's always a need for those. It's just being able to screen when it's more appropriate and when you can make a change.
A report issued by the Mississippi Board of Pharmacy and the Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics showed that a majority of overdose deaths in the state in 2017 were opioid related. U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith announced the federal grant awards today.
Tip leads to a dog-fighting bust in Monroe County. Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says deputies got a call this morning about dogs tied up at the end of a field on Conway Drive. When they arrived, deputies found 9 pit bulls tied up and a bait dog with no water and little food. Cantrell says the dog fighting equipment was there, along with needles and horse medicine used to help the dogs build muscle, was all seized. They also found skeletal remains of several other dogs. Deputies are now looking for Cedric Ford as a person of interest in the case.
He had tires hanging from trees, and those tires next to the dogs where they could bite them and pull them. Also had a bait dog, had a little beagle out there. They take that beagle and they put it up to the other dogs and they get him to where it'll fight them, but they turn the dog loose and they kill the bait dog. That's actually what they do.
The recovered dogs will be taken to surrounding shelters.
We continue tonight to follow a story we first brought you on WCBI News at midday. 2 elementary schools in the Noxubee County School District will close next month.
Our Quentin Smith has been in Noxubee County speaking with parents about this move. So, Quentin, what is everyone saying about these closings?
Well, Joey, as you can imagine, parents I spoke with are devastated and shocked by this decision. B.F. Liddell and Virgil Jones Junior Elementary Schools have always been staples in Noxubee County. For decades, the school doors have been open to hundreds of students, but in 2 weeks, those doors will be closing. State-appointed Superintendent Rod Brodnack says the decision to close both schools is solely based on financial reasons. We caught up with a parent that has a child who attends Virgil Jones. She says this decision now leaves her with more questions than answers.
I mean, in the middle of the school year, with 9 weeks coming up, I mean, is it gonna affect their grades, or they have, it's a lot of stuff that you have to pray about, and you're going to have to work with your kids closely with, with this situation as well. It's not only impacting the community, but it's also impacting the kids.
And with these closings, students at both schools will now move into Earl Nash Elementary School. B.F. Liddell and Virgil Jones will officially close on October 5th.
All right, Quentin in our studio with that story. The drive to consolidate the Chickasaw County courthouses in Okolona and Houston will have to go through Jackson. Supervisors learned Tuesday that any effort to merge the two would have to start in the state legislature. Supporters of the plan delivered petitions earlier this month asking for the board to consider the idea. Board Attorney Gary Carnathan researched the possibility and found cases that ruled supervisors did not have the power to make courthouse consolidation decisions. No word if the group behind the consolidation push will try to get a bill passed in Jackson. Time for a first look at our forecast on this Wednesday. We'll turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Another hot day in September.
Hot, hot, hot. Look at this in Tupelo, 98 degrees, tying the old record set back in 1954. Also the hottest day of the year on September 19th. Go figure, in Tupelo. So it's pretty warm. Still 94 degrees. The wind is light. The air's pretty dry, so it didn't really feel that oppressive. Just hot out there. 92 in Columbus, 93 in Starkville, 94 in Macon right now. We're down into the 80s after sunset around 7 o'clock, and then we're back into the low to mid 70s here by late this evening. Lows tonight down into the upper 60s to around 70. If you love the heat, guess what? Another hot one tomorrow, but that's it for a while. A little bit cooler later this week. Full forecast coming up.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. You know, tragedies can often bring out the very best in people.
And Hurricane Florence is now shedding light on relief organizations, including one at MSU. WCBI's Blair Schaefer joins us in the studio with more. Blair?
Many Mississippi State students have families in areas affected by the hurricane. Distance and school obligations can cause added stress in times of crisis, but there's an organization on campus that is trying to take some of the burden off of students.
The Student Relief Fund, it helps students that have been affected by disaster, so not just hurricanes, but maybe a house fire, a tornado, just examples. So it's an ongoing fund assisting students so that they are able to be successful academically.
The fund is run by the Student Affairs Office and gives students an opportunity to receive help in a time of crisis. This organization not only helps students in need, but it also provides an outlet to students who are wanting to help their fellow classmates.
Many of our student groups want to do various drives and fundraising efforts for Florence relief, and so we're trying to direct them to provide resources, financial resources, primarily to those efforts.
Cell phone apps are also helping spread the word on relief efforts. MSU student Leighton Little has seen this happen firsthand.
I was in a GroupMe, and they had just sent in there a link to donate to that fund, and so it was just awesome showing how much other students cared and getting other people to donate to those funds as well.
The MSU Relief Fund has also helped friends recover after being hit with other tragedies.
I know people who had an apartment fire last year who lost their clothing items, their school materials, and they were able to use that student relief fund that people donate to in order to gain some of those items back.
The MSU faculty is proud to be a part of a community where helping others is a priority. MSU professors say helping students stay connected and keeping doors open for success will always be a main focus.
We consider ourselves family, and I think this is just one of the ways that we can support parts of our family in a time of crisis.
To find out how you can help with Hurricane Florence relief, visit the Maroon Volunteer Center for more information.
All right, Blair in the studio with that story. A Monroe County boy is about to take a little ride to see one of his favorite singers.
We find out more about this wish come true when we come back.
Welcome back, everyone. A local middle schooler's wish is coming true this weekend. Xavier Lane has been fighting blood cancer since he was 9 years old. Today, he is cancer-free, and he's getting ready to celebrate. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is sending Xavier and his family to Los Angeles to see country music star Jason Aldean in concert. Xavier's mom says Aldean's music helped Xavier get through his treatment.
Jason Aldean has helped Xavier through CAT scans, x-rays, spinal taps, just anything. So this is a big deal for him that we actually was going to go to Hawaii, and he was like, I don't care about Hawaii. So he wanted to go see Jason Aldean. So that's what we do.
Going to be a great trip. The family flies out to LA tomorrow.
Language is the foundation of learning, and our Educator of the Week is reinforcing that foundation with care and compliments. Nikki Smithy teaches second grade at Hatley Elementary School. Right now, the class is learning vowels, blends, and pronunciations. Smithy says teaching kids requires building them up. She says if you uplift students and show them you believe in them, they will work harder.
I wanted to be in a classroom with kids where sometimes I'm their only hope. If they don't trust you and they're not comfortable with you, then they're not going to work for you. So you just have to really love them and compliment them and build them up.
And if you would like to see your favorite teacher in the spotlight, visit our website at WCBI.com.
Sunny and hot weather today. It's still plenty sunny right now. The sun is getting ready to set just after 7 o'clock, or around 7 o'clock. I think it's just before 7 now. But we stay warm tomorrow. Your full forecast is next.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Friendly conditions out there today. Our Alpha Insurance time lapse from downtown Columbus. Building clouds, but they really didn't do much because the air was pretty stable today. A few isolated showers earlier today, but those really didn't amount to too much. The big story today, the heat, the late summer heat. It's still summer, by the way, until Saturday evening. 94 currently in Tupelo, 92 in Columbus. Very warm here as of the 6 o'clock hour. But notice what's happening up across the northern plains. 62 in Minneapolis, 64 in Bismarck, 49 the current temperature in Billings, Montana. Now, that's a long ways away, and it's going to take a long time before we start to see some cooler temperatures like that down here. But as we get into the end of next week, there's an opportunity for one of these early fall fronts that could actually blast on down to the southeast and cool things down a little bit. Now, tomorrow's going to be hot. It's going to be a little bit cooler for the weekend, but not fall-like, maybe by the end of next week. So if you're looking forward to that, just give it some time here. Right now, all quiet here in our neck of the woods. A bigger batch of showers and storms down there in Louisiana. I do want to go over here and show you a little bit of a rarity, if you will. Tropical depression actually formed in the Gulf of California today. This is really not going to amount to anything. It will weaken over the next 12 hours, but that moisture is actually going to get pulled across the Rocky Mountains there and across the Mexican high terrain and get out here across the Central Plains here later this weekend. We may tap into some of that moisture as we get into the weekend. Let me show you that with Futurecast. Tomorrow, not really a lot of rain here. There could be a better opportunity for a few showers or storms, probably across central Mississippi. Now, can't rule it out around here. We will keep the forecast dry. And Friday, a 30% chance for some rain around here. But speaking of that moisture, here it comes, and that will try to tap on into this front that will come on into the region and then stall out. So we may squeeze out some of that moisture from that little depression down there in the Gulf of California right now. But suffice to say, there is some rain opportunities coming our way, and I'm sure your backyard wants it. Upper 60s to around 70 degrees tonight. You're planning for tomorrow. Guess what? We're back into the mid-90s here. So here's our city-by-city forecast. Not as hot as what we had today, but we're still thinking about 92 to 96 here across northeast Mississippi and west Alabama. Winds from the southeast at 5 to 10. Here's our 7-day 91 on Friday, a 30% chance of rain, a little bit higher odds of rain Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures cool down into the mid to upper 80s.
All right, it's time to reveal our game of the week for week 6. Is it week 6 already? The vote is over. Find out where we'll be live Friday. Next in sports.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Yet another Game of the Week poll is in the books. More than 1,000 votes for Week 6. We'll be heading to a battle of undefeateds in 3A. Winona at Water Valley wins our combined online and Twitter poll. Both teams enter the contest 5-0 and have looked very impressive early in the season. This game has been a constant over the past 9 seasons. Water Valley winning 6 out of the last 9, but Winona has won 2 straight. So maybe a little bit of a rivalry going on between the two. The next time these two would collide would be the 3A state championship, but who will hand the other its first loss of 2018? We'll find out on Friday. To our student athlete of the week, Tupelo's Ivy Watts has been starting for the softball team since her 7th grade year. She was a part of that fast pitch state title win back in 2017 as a sophomore, and now has her team off to a red hot start, 13-1 so far this year. Our Jonathan Flippo has the story.
Tupelo's Ivy Watts has started her senior year swinging. Through 14 games, she's got 36 hits, 38 RBIs, and 18 home runs at the plate. While Watts is slugging it out on the diamond, she's also getting the help from her teachers in the classroom.
The thing I've enjoyed most here at Tupelo is the classes. The teachers make sure that you feel comfortable in each class, and they make sure that everything goes right. You have the right grades. They'll help you out with anything. And I've just really respected those teachers, and I'm very thankful for them.
Maintaining that success in the classroom can be a challenge, especially as an athlete. But Ivy knows that you have to get the grades in order to be successful.
It's a challenge getting home late from games and having to go and study for a class or a test that I have in a class. But you just got to focus and know your priorities and just make sure you get your studying in.
Watt's success has carried her a long ways to become the player and person she wants to be. Her coach and teammate have seen her take the steps toward becoming a leader.
Anytime you have a desire to be good at whatever you do, you're going to be successful, and she does. She has a desire to be the best and be, one of the top players in the area, and top players, student athletes in the classroom. She loves the game, and all of that translates over to being a good player.
She brightens every room that she walks into, and she's really loud and energetic. I never see Ivy sad or down on herself. She's really nice, and she's a really good listener to talk to.
While Ivy takes that leadership role on the team, there is a certain routine that gets her pumped up before game time.
We listen to pop anthology. It kind of pumps me up and gets me ready for the game, especially dance around the locker room with my girls. They're awesome. And just focusing, getting in my game time, just ready to go.
Following high school, Ivy will take her 3.9 GPA and talents to the next level. Watts will continue her slugging career at North Alabama.
The coaches are absolutely fantastic. They're really nice. They're both women, so I'm pretty sure I'll have a great bond with both of them.
Ivy and her team returns to action Thursday when they host Columbus. Reporting in Tupelo, Jonathan Flippo, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Student Athlete of the Week with Jonathan Flippo is brought to you by C Spire, customer inspired.
And in case you missed it, at 5, Louisville's Charles Moore was honored his Under Armour All-American jersey. We'll have that story coming up on our website, WCBI.com. That's it for sports. Last Secure Forecast is next.
All right, here's our 7-day. Hot again tomorrow. Not as hot as today, but still hot. 10 degrees above the average. A little bit cooler Friday, still 91. And then some 80s return for the weekend. If you're looking for that fall feel, maybe by the end of next week. But until then, still pretty warm.
Keep waiting.
I was going to say, I think we're all ready.
Patience will pay off. Just hold on.
There you go. All right, thanks, Keith. Words of wisdom.